campaign. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Ayub Nouinou and you're watching Shia Waves live on Imam Hussein TV 3. The World Uyghur Congress has called on Finnish leaders to adopt a strong position against the ongoing genocide of Uyghurs during their delegation visit to China from October 28th to 31st, ANI reported yesterday. Finnish President Alexander Stubb and Susan Innis Stubb are scheduled to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping on October 29th. The WC urged Finnish officials to prioritize discussions on Uyghur human rights and forced labour, emphasising the need for action in light of the EU's Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. The organisation highlighted China's dismal of 30 recommendations from the Universal Periodic Review, particularly concerning the rights of Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities. While recognising Finland's historical ties with China, the WC stressed the importance of Finland maintaining its commitment to human rights advocacy and fulfilling its moral obligations despite potential economic pressures from the Chinese government. Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Interior announced the execution of Khalid bin Mohammed bin Talih al-Shahri and Omar bin Dhaffar bin Ali al-Shahri on October 21st, 2024 for what it said was treason and affiliation with a terrorist entity. The executions add to a growing number of death sentences in the kingdom, drawing a sharp criticism from human rights groups over what they describe as vague charges, such as terrorism and treason, often used to target political dissidents. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, report that Saudi Arabia has executed over 198 people by late September 2024, marking a record high in recent decades. Concerns about the fairness of trials and allegations of torture to extract confessions have raised serious questions about the integrity of the judicial process. Despite international pressure and Saudi Arabia's ambitions to secure a seat on the UN Human Rights Council, news reports say the kingdom continues to resist calls for judicial reform and a reconsideration of its use of the death penalty. The Swedish Migration Agency has unveiled a new plan targeting the deportation of thousands of rejected asylum seekers, undocumented migrants and Dublin regulation refugees. By the end of 2024, around 7,800 people are expected to be deported voluntarily, with an additional 8,000 deportations projected for 2025. In a statement, the agency clarified that the plan focuses on those whose asylum applications have been withdrawn or rejected, alongside Dublin refugees and illegal migrants. Maria Mindhamar, Director General of the Swedish Migration Agency, confirmed the government's request to expedite deportations, noting efforts to expand return centres and detention facilities to enforce forced removals. The Swedish government had also introduced a financial incentive in September, offering 350,000 SEK, which is around $34,000, to migrants willing to return voluntarily to their home countries in exchange for renouncing their residency or citizenship. These measures aim to reduce the number of refugees in Sweden amid growing pressures on the government to address migration and asylum issues. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. World Uyghur Congress urges Finland to address Uyghur genocide. Saudi Arabia executes 2 citizens for treason amid rising international criticism. Sweden announces plan to deport thousands of rejected asylum seekers. Also tonight, COP16 in Colombia. Nearly 200 countries gather to address biodiversity crisis. Polio cases are surging in Pakistan, with 39 new infections reported since January, compared to just 6 last year, Arab News reported yesterday. Anwarul Haq from the National Emergency Operations Center for Polio Eradication highlighted the urgency of a new nationwide vaccination campaign set to begin on October 28th, aiming to immunize at least 32 million children. Despite ongoing violence against health workers and police protecting them, Pakistan continues its efforts to eradicate polio. Most recent cases have emerged in Balochistan and Sindh provinces, raising concerns as previous outbreaks were primarily in the northwest bordering Afghanistan, where the Taliban recently halted vaccination efforts. Both Pakistan and Afghanistan remain the last countries where polio transmission has not been stopped. The World Health Organization has confirmed 18 cases in Afghanistan this year, emphasizing the need for simultaneous vaccination drives in both countries to combat the spread of this potentially paralyzing disease. And now we continue with some short news. In a shocking attack on October 21st, gunmen killed 7 people and injured at least 5 others at a construction camp for a strategic tunnel project near Sonamrag, Indian-administered Kashmir, Al Jazeera reported yesterday. Police have labelled the incident a terror attack and blamed rebels opposing Indian rule. Among the deceased are 5 migrant workers, 1 Kashmiri worker and a local doctor. The assault occurred shortly after workers returned to their lodgings, marking one of the deadliest attacks on civilians in the region this year. This incident is the second attack on non-local workers since a new local government was sworn in, raising serious concerns about safety. The ambitious tunnel project aims to enhance military logistics between Kashmir and Ladakh, an area that remains isolated for half the year due to heavy snowfall. Regional leaders have condemned the violence with promises of a strong response against those responsible. Iraq's General Board of Antiquities and Heritage announced on Tuesday the discovery of significant archaeological findings at the Tel Arab combat site in Kirkuk province. Excavations revealed that the site dates back over 4,000 years, enhancing the understanding of the region's history spanning from the early dynastic period to the old Babylonian period. In its statement, the board explained that its first mission uncovered remains of structural units, workshops and kilns used for pottery production, as well as approximately 100 diverse artifacts. Additionally, the second mission discovered graves containing various burial offerings, leading to the discovery of nearly 150 artifacts to date. The Russian Federal Service for Supervision in Education and Science has announced plans to introduce Arabic as a subject in the Unified State exam, a process expected to take around 2 years to develop and implement. In its statement, the agency explained that the development of testing standards for Arabic will begin once the Russian Ministry of Education approves the proposed changes. The preparation of exam standards follows federal state standards and the approved educational curriculum, which currently does not include Arabic language requirements. Russian Minister of Education Sergei Kravtsov has previously confirmed plans to include Arabic in the high school unified state exam within the next 2 years. New research indicates that smoke pollution from wildfires, exacerbated by global heating, may be responsible for an additional 12,000 deaths each year, The Guardian reported yesterday. The study, led by Dr. Chae Yeon Park from Japan's National Institute for Environmental Studies, highlights that regions like Australia, South America, Europe, and parts of Asia are particularly at risk. From 2003 to 2019, global heating increased the area burned by nearly 16%, despite human actions like land clearing and reducing the total burned area by 19%. The research found that almost 100,000 people die annually from inhaling PM 2.5 particles from wildfires. Experts warn that the health impacts of wildfire smoke could be underestimated due to its severe toxicity. Professor Hilary Bambrick noted that the prolonged smoke exposure during Australia's 2019-2020 fires resulted in hundreds of deaths and long-term health issues. Researchers at MIT have developed a method to 3D print active electronics, such as transistors, using a copper-doped polymer, eliminating the need for traditional semiconductors, New Atlas reported yesterday. This breakthrough could facilitate electronics fabrication in remote locations, including spacecraft. The team initially focused on fabricating magnetic coils and discovered that their polymer exhibited significant resistance changes when electric current was applied, mimicking semiconductor behavior. They successfully demonstrated fully 3D printed resettable fuses and transistors, which, while larger and less powerful than conventional chips, are durable and suitable for simple applications. This innovative approach uses biodegradable materials and does not require clean room conditions, making it accessible for various engineering projects. As the technology matures, it has the potential to democratize electronics manufacturing, allowing hobbyists and engineers to create functional devices in diverse environments. Nearly 200 countries are gathering in Cali, Colombia for the 16th United Nations Biodiversity Conference, which runs until November the 1st, Al Jazeera reported yesterday. This summit follows the 2022 Montreal meetings where 196 nations committed to the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, aiming to protect biodiversity. Delegates will discuss urgent actions to halt the rapid loss of nature, including setting aside 30% of territories for conservation and reducing harmful subsidies. As of now, only 31 out of 195 countries have submitted their biodiversity action plans. Colombia's Environmental Minister, Susana Mohammed, emphasized the need for a collective approach to generate sustainable conditions for future generations. Wealthy nations pledged at COP15 to contribute at least $20 billion annually by 2025 to assist developing countries in achieving their biodiversity goals. However, only $15.4 billion has been raised so far. Indigenous communities are also advocating for recognition and inclusion in conservation efforts during the summit. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of the main headlines. World Uyghur Congress urges Finland to address Uyghur genocide. Saudi Arabia executes 2 citizens for treason amid rising international criticism. Sweden announces plan to deport thousands of rejected asylum seekers. Polio cases rise in Pakistan ahead of vaccination campaign. COP16 in Colombia. Nearly 200 countries gather to address biodiversity crisis. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Please contact us on the number at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
بسم الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليًّا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليًّا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله، لا إله